Hi, my name is Chris, and welcome to a new episode of What Went Wrong, a web series that explores the success and failure of films throughout the modern era. Just recently, we had two of 2016's biggest films drop new trailers, and we're going to dissect not only what went wrong, but what went right. So, in just over 1 week, the brand new trailers for Captain America Civil War and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice were released online, after first being screened on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, which I think now officially makes him King of the Nerds? I'm not quite sure. Both were released, and while one was almost universally loved, the other received very mixed reviews for several different reasons. Now, before we get into all that, let's crunch the numbers. Civil War and Dawn of Justice are just two of 6 big-budget studio-led comic book movies of 2016, which includes the Ryan Reynolds-led Deadpool, X-Men Apocalypse, Suicide Squad, and Doctor Strange. This is Civil War's first trailer, whilst this is the third trailer for Dawn of Justice. Naturally, as marketing of films progress, there are advantages and disadvantages to doing your first or third trailer, so we will explore those in greater detail much later. Upon release, Civil War reportedly had 61 million views in 24 hours, which is a staggering 74% higher than the release of the first Avengers Age of Ultron trailer. However, Dawn of Justice only had 23.3 million views in 24 hours, which is almost a quarter less than when they released the Comic-Con trailer over 4 months ago. So let's look at the opening of each of these trailers. Civil War establishes a clear narrative that shows the tension between Captain America and the government, and in turn, Iron Man. One of the major concerns before the release of the trailer was that Captain America would be drowned out of his own film due to the inclusion of Iron Man and so many other heroes. What this trailer does so well is it keeps the focus on Chris Evans' Star-Spangled Avenger. When looking at the opening of Dawn of Justice, there is a real promise because for once there appears to be a balance between Batman and Superman after the last two trailers seemed very Batman focused. The tone, mood, and conflict really shows some promise, and then
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent.
Lex Luthor shows up. Now look, I know there's been a lot of discussion that Warner Brothers were pushing for a very serious tone to the DC movies, and there was some worry that there would be no jokes whatsoever. However, this intro to Lex is just the wrong kind of humor, and disrupts the flow that was, up until then, looking rather promising.
Freaks dressed like clowns.
So what about the trailer music? Both try to set specific tones with genuine stakes. Civil War uses a more exploratory and global sounding tune thanks to the work of Dean Valentine, who has done some great work for trailers such as The Martian and Fury. Meanwhile, Dawn of Justice has decided to go big with their sound, but at the same time, very generic in their sound. Sure, it is dramatic, but doesn't really distinguish itself from any of the other trailers it has made today. Even though they have used the music of talented artist Person of Interest, it's just a wonder that they didn't use any of Hans Zimmer's upcoming score. Getting to the second half of each trailer, audiences were met with some interesting imagery that, though quickly cut together in both, certainly gave audiences some real spine-tingling moments. Civil War gave us a scene that left the audiences slack-jawed when they saw some amazing choreographed fights between Iron Man, the Winter Soldier, and Captain America. The honest truth is that there's very little to criticize in the Civil War trailer. I mean, we could do the intense nitpick session like CinemaSins did, but honestly, that would just make us sound douchey. However, the Dawn of Justice trailer made some interesting choices with its final shots, namely the spoilerific introduction of Doomsday, who has come under a lot of criticism for looking too much like a Ninja Turtle, or the Abomination, or the cave trolls from Lord of the Rings. Regardless of what you think Doomsday looks like, the design is very Hollywood monster generic for this day and age. Now, touching on the spoilers, let's face it, it's par for the course for almost all movies being made today, with so many of them spoiling either the third act reveal or another really important factor of the film. And yet, you know what? Marvel is one of the worst for this. Not only did they spoil the suitcase suit in the Iron Man 2 trailer, they spoiled the Hulk saving Iron Man in the Avengers trailer. They showed us the 42 suits arriving in the third act of the Iron Man 3 trailer, and in their very first trailer for Age of Ultron, they spoiled the reveal of the Hulkbuster. The likelihood is that Marvel will do this again with the follow-up to the Civil War trailer, but at this stage, but what they have done is set a really good tone and not revealed some of the other key cast, such as Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, and Paul Bettany's Vision, just to name a few. However, with Dawn of Justice spoiling not only the reveal of Doomsday, but Wonder Woman's big reveal, this really undercuts a lot of the tension of this upcoming film. Thanks to this trailer, we now know that Batman vs Superman is only a small part of this film, as they need to fight, make up, team up with another hero to fight a new villain. Many viewers of the trailer feel that they have been shown the whole film. However, we've seen less than 6 minutes of footage from a 2.5-hour film, so people may be overacting to this a little bit. But it is certainly true that key plot points are now for the most part ruined by this trailer. So, what have we learned from these trailers? Having a clear and consistent tone to your trailer is a must. And this is not reliant on one thing. Your music should gel just as well as the scenes that you put together. Secondly, don't force the humor if it's not organic or doesn't fit with the tone that you're trying to establish. Trust me, if you don't know the tone of the film that you're trying to sell to the audience, then don't expect them to know either. Thirdly, avoid spoiling important plot points, especially from your third act. If Star Wars The Force Awakens can give us 2 full trailers that give us no information about the film but still get us excited, then there's something wrong with every other trailer maker's approach. Finally, don't be afraid to be creative. Trailers don't need to fit a set template just because the Inception trailer was such a success. Try to find new ways to hook your audience. This is Chris Gooch for the Film Lounge, signing off.